with this. Welcome everyone. We'll have more people joining us as we start. So, many of us have read Gita and have tried to understand it. You guys can hear me? The sound is good. So we try to understand it in many different ways. I have talked to many of us who read. I asked them, what is Bhagwat Gita? So a lot of people say it is a religious book, and they take pride into it. Ego boosted, it's my religious book. That is exactly against what Gita teaches. Not a religious book. If I was to tell you that, you'd be surprised. Like, what are you talking about? We have been told it is the Hindu religious, most important book of Hindu religion. But it is not correct. Bhagavad Gita is more of a conversation that happens between two friends, you can call it, two levels of consciousness, you can call it. One is ignorant, other is all realized, enlightened being. One is confused friend who is going through turmoil in his mind, in a situation of life where he is going through such a dire problem of killing his own relatives. Gave him the knowledge. His own great-grandfather who raised him. As he comes to the visibility of the war, imminent, not only imminent, it's right now in front of him. He sees it right, that million people standing or 500,000 people standing in front of him, and he says, I have to kill them all. That's a directive from his side. These other people, they are supposed to be killed. And so it is different. Today, our government does the war. What do? It's more of a remote control TV show. We have seen so much violence on the TV that our President Trump, watching today when he attacked Venezuela, he's watching on the TV as a TV show, and he makes that comment. See how insensitive television and the violence in television has made people. The real war is happening also, they think it's a TV show. They're able to make those kind of comments. There was like such a show, reality show I was watching. So it makes us insensitive towards the reality of life. What we have seen over last 50 years, what TV we see, the video games we play and kids play, it creates certain insensitive immunity towards certain kind of acts. Whereas in today, drone, you put a button and bunch of planes will go drop. The pilot is also not there. See, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, when atomic bomb was dropped, later on, the pilot who dropped the bomb, he did not know what is he doing. After a few weeks or days, when he came back, he was mentally so disturbed, he couldn't live. Eventually, the pilot, he did not even know, he just dropped it, came back. I think few months or few years, within few years he committed suicide. Because he couldn't understand. But Arjuna is in a different situation. He is standing in front, he is seeing 500,000 people, I'm supposed to kill them all. And a lot of them he has played with, a lot of them he has spent time with. He knows the wives of those people standing, their kids call him uncle. And now he is supposed to kill all those people. So for him, looking at that, when he's in middle of the battlefield, and looking at that war is starting, and I'm supposed to kill all these people, not only this many. Every day new batch of people will come which I have to kill. And he was really traumatized. Sudden trauma hit him. That my goodness, such a big violence, and I am supposed to do it. And to all my family members and friends. So it is very much possible in that time, I can imagine, to have that confusion that now what do I do? Live the kingdom. Mind might have thought prior days that we'll become the king of Hastinapur or king of that subcontinent and we'll do this and that. Plans might have been made. So in his mind, he was doing war for XYZ reasons. Now suddenly shocked. No, just for this I kill so many and they will ask me question if I go back. But he's not. He's like he says all those things as we go further in Bhagwat Gita. Two, the background and synopsis of chapter 1, what we talked about. One question I asked in chapter 1, which is very important question, most important question I've asked. You know, Bhagwat Gita, time of Bhagwat Gita and place of Bhagwat Gita. If you may be aware or not, it happens right before the big war is supposed to start. Everybody has assembled, both parties have assembled on two sides, and this side is supposed to start attacking, both sides are supposed to start attacking, and Arjun says, Krishna, take me in middle of the battlefield. I want to see who the people there in the middle of the can see the opposite side. That's when he goes there and Arjuna looks and gets confused and baffled. And he goes into a trauma, which is the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita called Vishadyo. Now my question to all of you is, can anybody tell me why that time? Why that moment of right 20 minutes before war is supposed to start? Time between the dawn and sunrise. That's 20-25 minutes time. Why did Krishna decided to give that knowledge at that time? I have heard many, no wrong answer here. I will give you my side of understanding why, and then you can give me your side, whatever you have heard up till now. Any thoughts on that? That's what we talked about in first session of our Bhagavad Gita talks.
That would have been the most optimum time he would grasp because it was a critical time.
Okay. Little bit like that, absolutely. Anybody else has any other comments? See, because they were preparing for war and Krishna was on their side for last 6 months or 1 year they are preparing. Ever since the last interaction happened and Krishna went for negotiation, diplomatic ties, diplomatic efforts failed. Krishna said, just give me 5 villages. Give Pandavas only 5 villages. You have to say something.
No, just to your question, I'm trying to assess because I haven't thought that way. But it is like now final action and it's not turning back. That's when you last minute doubts you want to clear that you are doing the right action. So maybe that's the thought that got into his mind and Krishna thought, I have to clarify because it's not going back or whatever happens now is the final thing that will happen.
Correct. But I will give you one very practical understanding. When I was reading it over and again, when I realized very practically that Krishna could have told Bhagavad Gita to Arjun before. He could have told night before. Why wait in the morning? Yeah, why wait in the morning to talk about it? Short time and describing all this knowledge, and rather it would be better if it would have the night before or 2 days before or 3 days before. And why only to Arjun? Why not to Yudhishthira?
He's the one who's ready now. Right?
That's the question. That's the answer. Because in that statement that is, he is the one who is ready now. Until the moment of war when Arjuna saw all that destruction and everything, he didn't ask the question. See, advice is supposed to be given when somebody asks for it. That's the biggest lesson you have to learn. From that moment that Krishna could have told Bhagavad Gita to anyone and everyone. Correct? He was not a miser person, he was not like mean, or he was not favoring Arjuna. He didn't have any special place for Arjuna to give knowledge only to him, not to everyone else. He tried in many ways, in many places, even to convince Duryodhana, explain him. But it is only supposed to be given, knowledge is to be given when it is asked for. Because that's when he is ready. Person is ready to receive. Like, why am I talking today right now? Because I invited and then you decided to come. I am not going out somewhere or pulling people in. You accepted invitation, you came, so we are talking. The same way, Arjuna asked a question. In that moment of what question came to his mind. Even Arjuna asked is wrong to say. He realized that, oh my goodness, this is not right, I have confusion. And that is exactly why Krishna. And then lot of people had ignorance. But ignorant Arjuna was ready to accept Krishna as someone who will help him clarify his doubts. We will listen to that in this second chapter, how Arjuna says that, yes, I am ready now. And that also is mistranslated by most people who translate Bhagavad Gita. They make mistake in second or third verse of second chapter, they make mistake. Because if the translation is right, then Bhagavad Gita would have finished in chapter 2. It wouldn't have gone to chapter 18. Translation is done wrongly. And I'll explain what's the mistake people make in translation. Common people who translate Bhagavad Gita, they make that mistake. Every version I have read, everyone says the same thing. Because they're all trying to refer someone else. They don't have courage to see things with their own eyes, or clarity to see things with their own eyes, and courage to correct what 1,000 years have been repeated. 2,000 years people have been translating same way and creating some meaning out of it. So it requires certain courage and clarity. Two things are needed to see things. A lot of people who are giving commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, they don't have depth of meditation behind it. They don't have depth of awareness behind it. That's the reason, and they don't have courage to say, oh my goodness, 1,000 years ago that saint said this monk said this, how can I change it? But one who starts becoming aware, and I'll tell you very simple logic and you'll see, oh yeah, that makes sense. So, before we start, I wanted to give this background. That's the reason Bhagavad Gita starts at that time, right in the battlefield. Because Arjuna was ready, and he was ready to accept his ignorance. Luckily, we had someone highly conscious like Krishna with him, who was able to give the eternal knowledge which can be further down helpful to all of us. So, three things happened at the same time. One, Arjuna became ready. He was accepting his ignorance. He was not bound by ego. At the level where he cannot accept new knowledge. So he was still suffering from his ego, which we talked about in chapter 1. Because when he says, I don't want to go in the war, you will hear it. And then I'll tell you where he was suffering from ego and why it is out of ego Arjuna is asking question of the kind he is asking. Because ego is the one that has certain flavor. Whenever ego manifests itself, it has certain person and conscious, they can catch, oh, that's where it's coming from. And there is a sickness of ego, we'll talk about that a little bit. We talked in chapter 1 last time. Some of you couldn't attend, so I'll repeat that part also. But before I go there, we'll listen to Sankhya Yoga is the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. First chapter is called Vishad Yoga, where Arjuna is constantly lamenting Christ. And then certain aspects of war is also being discussed. That statements are being made and it's all been recorded in that. So what I will do is I will start with here. Let the few verses in Sanskrit, which we'll listen. Then we have a friend who has joined from India. She will repeat those verses in Hindi translation. What is the exact Hindi translation of it? Then we have Pujan here. He will translate for us into English. So we'll have 3 languages so people can understand it in all 3 languages. And then I'll give my comments on that. And discussion. You can ask questions when I'm commenting. You can always ask questions. Here. Chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga.
अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः सञ्जय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्नाकुलेक्षणम् पिषेदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् श्रीभगवानुवाच कुतस्त्वाकश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन क्लैब्यं मास्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यम् त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप अर्जुन उवाच कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदन इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदन गुरून् हत्वा हि महानुभावान् श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्षमपि गरीयः यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धावः मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रप.
So this is very important line. This is where people miss in translation. This line, I'm stopping here for a second. On this line, here it says, Shishyate sadhibam tvam prapannam. Remember this line. Shishya means 4 levels are there in becoming a Shishya. One Shishya means better than one who is just curious mind. Curious mind is not considered a Shishya. Shishya is more receptive to receive the knowledge. Now that also is 2 categories if you see. 3 categories. One Shishya is student who is just come intellectually to learn. Second Shishya is disciple who is more than student. And third is a devotee. Yeah. There are 3 levels. Most people translate this wrongly.
न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा हृषीकेशम् गुडाकेशः परन्तप न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूव. तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत अशोच्यानन्वशो
pause here and we'll hear the Hindi translation of this many verses. So Ma, you can talk about Hindi translation and we can hear you here. You can unmute it and read it to us.
प्रणाम। संजय बोले, करुणा से अभिभूत अश्रुपूर्ण नेत्रों वाले और शोकग्रस्त अर्जुन से मधुसूदन श्री कृष्ण ने ये वचन कहे। श्री भगवान बोले, हे अर्जुन, इस कठिन समय में तुम्हारे भीतर यह मोह कहाँ से आ गया? यह न आर्य पुरुषों को शोभा देता है, न स्वर्ग देने वाला है। हे पार्थ, दृढ़ता को मत अपनाओ, यह तुम्हें शोभा नहीं देता। इस तुच्छ हृदय दुर्बलता को त्याग कर उठ खड़े हो, शत्रुओं को दमन करने वाले। अर्जुन बोले, हे मधुसूदन, युद्ध में मैं भीष्म और द्रोण जैसे पूज्य गुरुओं पर बाण कैसे चला सकता हूँ? इन महान गुरुओं को मारकर इस लोक में भिक्षा से जीवन यापन करना अधिक श्रेयस्कर है। उन्हें मारकर जो भोग मिलेंगे वे रक्त से सने होंगे। हम नहीं
Realize wiser, then I'm also getting misfit into this society from that perspective, right? So if I am a misfit from that perspective and my energy is driven by people around me and what they think about me and how we communicate and interact, so unless I get to that level and I don't care about everything around me, so that which I feel is the fallacy in this whole world with our attachment.
It has its importance, it has its reality, but deeper realities and deeper quest of things have not been realized. We have to bring that element, not because of any other reason than helping people be liberated from their confusion, sorrow and suffering. Another thing, this education has not only come into us from the birth till today. It seems like it, but a lot of tendencies, some habits have came from longer time that we have been carrying with us. If I say anything about past birth, a lot of people have a problem with that. Living in a Western society, it's hard because we don't know many people who remember their past birth. Today here, we may not even know one person that you have met who knows his past birth. To believe that it exists will be harder. If we can create certain awareness and education system, that every child is given a technique with which he remembers past birth some point in time, and everybody knows that we come from lineage, then it will help. We'll not go through same cycle again. If scientifically we can incorporate into education system methods and technique, not the knowledge. I am saying techniques like we have physical exercise, we have techniques of scientific laboratory, we have for chemistry. Like that laboratory for inner understanding has to be added to education system, where meditation will make people experience things which will validate and make it experiential. Then I don't have to convince past whether they exist or not. And I don't want to convince you. Why should I want to convince you anything? If your experience says it, then it's स्वतः uska proof mil jayega tumhe. You get the proof by itself. Sun gives you heat. How you know it? Because you stood in sun and you experienced it. AC is cool. You know it because you experienced it. Same way, it is working on one project together. So progress can happen. It is working on one project together. So progress can happen faster. The same way, when we are spiritual scientists, I call it, or people who are meditating, who want to know that Krishna says Atma like this, we also listen to it, but we are not able to experience it. Yes? We listen, we understand intellectually, but our intellect is not that deep enough, it penetrates the deep unconscious knowledge of our old experiences that it goes through and makes us realize, yes, I am that. It's not happening because our other experiences have overshadowed our intellect. The memory of that which we are has become very bleak because it is inside. I'll tell you, it's not that you are creating divine. It is already there, and memory of that is also inside us. It's just that so many layers of other memory has come out that going in is becoming difficult. So many experiences, so much of other experience which are not of that depth are covering it so that we are not able to go through it. Our intellect is enough. Buddhi Yoga, Sankhya is a Buddhi Yoga. It is more than enough. If intelligence that is sharp, which it pierces right through to the core of unconscious experience and knowledge we have collected, then right there we reach to the layer of Atma. But no, that is not so, which is okay. Nothing wrong. It's not there, it's not there. Hey, where we are, we start there. So we start cleaning other areas and go into other yogas eventually. So Krishna Bhagavan is saying all this different explanation of every sloka. I can go into every sloka very so beautifully going and saying things. For that I'll have to rewind or I have to read here. Again go back to that sloka and read it and listen to it. So one concept of Atma I wanted to clarify. Very important. So I stopped here. Because that is very, very important. If we understand Atma right, then whenever we say Atma also we are addressing that which we don't know of yet in experience. Very crucial point. Very crucial point to realize. Then he explains the quality of that Atma further down. Nor born, nor does it die. Nor it has a beginning, nor it has an end. And Jnani, the realized one, is the one who knows all these things and realizes all these things, not just intellectually, but with intellect, deep inside he goes and looks, oh yeah, that's right, that's how it is. So we'll continue in English and Hindi. Ma, you continue reading further in Hindi. No, first you do in English now. I'll do Hindi later because it's easy for me to speak after that because somehow, though Hindi is not my first language, the words from Sanskrit to Hindi are relatable and I'm catching the errors easily. In English it's so far out there that my goodness, did Krishna say that? He never said that. I didn't hear that in Hindi or in Sanskrit. So I have to go back and listen to it. Not that I would listen English first, then Hindi and then Sanskrit, then I can say better. Or that way. Maybe we'll do that way. You speak in English now, and then I will listen to it in Sanskrit, and then I'll go in Hindi. That will be easier for me to give commentary that way.
Just as a person discards worn-out clothes and puts on new ones, so the soul casts off old bodies and enters new ones. Weapons do not cut it, fire does not burn it, water does not wet it, and wind does not dry it. This soul is unbreakable, incombustible, insoluble, and cannot be dried. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, immovable, and everlasting. It is said to be unmanifest, inconceivable, and immutable. Therefore, knowing it thus, you should not grieve. If you think the soul is constantly born and constantly dies, even then, O mighty armed, you should not grieve. For one who is born, death is certain, and for one who has died, birth is certain. Therefore you should not grieve over the inevitable. All beings are unmanifest in the beginning, manifest in the middle, and unmanifest again at the end. Why lament? Some see the soul as amazing, some speak of it as amazing. The embodied soul in all beings is eternally indestructible. Therefore, you should not grieve for any being. Considering your own duty, you should not waver. For a warrior,
कर भी कर होती है। जिन्होंने तुम्हें, वे समझेंगे कि तुम भय से युद्ध से हट गए और इस प्रकार तुम्हारा अपमान होगा। तुम्हारे शत्रु तुम्हारे सामर्थ्य की निंदा करते हुए अनेक अपमानजनक बातें कहेंगे। इससे अधिक दुखद और क्या होगा।
Sorry, can you repeat the last verse one more time? Last two lines.
निंदा करते जनक बातें, इससे अधिक दुख होगा।
Okay. See what Krishna again tells him. इसमें बहुत सारी बातें उन्होंने कही। एक तो आत्मा का वर्णन समझाया, फिर ही डिस्क्राइब्स आत्मा क्या है। वो शरीर त्यागती है, नया शरीर लेती है। इट लाइक वी चेंज क्लोथ्स, सेम वे दैट आत्मा ऑल द वे टॉप वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द फॉर्म। इट keeps taking birth. Avyakt is one that is unmanifested. Very importantly, he is saying here also, वो श्लोक आ गया जो परलोक की बात करते हैं, या आगे आएगा, उस पर भी हम बात करेंगे। It's very important that we understand, that Arjuna understands. He is talking about Arjuna. How it will implement in our personal life, I'll explain you that. Now I'll come to practical implementation. If we know that we are that eternal beings, part of that unmanifested eternal being, which has no beginning, no end. If we realize that, what will happen to our life, Suddenly the hurry will disappear. जीवन में जो हम इतनी जल्दी कर रहे हैं, सारा जल्दी गायब हो जाएगा। एक रिलैक्सेशन आ जाएगा। You will suddenly relax. I am forever. There is nowhere to go. Even this body goes away, I'll be here. And I am here from beginning of the planet, billions of years, and I'll be here for billions of years. So rust will disappear from life. Anxiety will disappear. What is anxiety? What is our anxiety of life? The time is limited. I have to know, I have to see, I have to do. That is a problem. Our anxiety is constantly that. Then we can make right decision. Now we have unlimited time, unlimited bodies we will get to experience experiences. What we want to experience now? Enough. You will say enough. I have eaten enough times, I had sex enough time, I have done this many times, I have done all this, but that's not satisfied me. Over here, if I go slok by slok, Krishna dissects it so nicely, which I would love to. Let me try if I can do that. In chapter 233, we are here. Okay. Knowing this soul to be unchanging, eternal, unborn, indestructible, how can one kill someone or cause another to kill? So if you know it, nobody you can kill. Nothing is happening. It's just at that level, your realization, nothing is happening. You're not killing anyone. Nobody is dying. You don't feel so attached. Don't feel so sad. Oh, I will kill this person. Withdrawn from relationship. What is our attachment, our relationship? I am Indian, I am American, I am Hindu, I am this. All those attachments will disappear for the realized soul. You will become first time free and you will make the right decision. Even if I am Indian, if a guy is standing in front of me is from Indian origin, he is making mistake, I will be able to give him the right action or right decision. I will not be attached. Not only Indian, our identity is also with our family. My wife, my girlfriend, my son, my grandson, my father, all that will disappear. So you will be able to see things very differently. attachment will disappear. Our 90% of suffering is because 99% of suffering is because of attachment. 1% I leave out because ego is still remaining. If you become totally detached also, last attachment will be to the self ego. Once that disappears, total freedom. So then here another thing is slain. So Arjuna here is thinking that I am going to kill people, and I am going to kill my great grandfather and Drona and all that. He is clarifying again, you are not the killer, you are the Atma of there, which is beyond all this. So killing is not happening here. Nobody, not he is getting killed, he is also part of that Atma. It's only one thing, it's just right thing to do right now in this moment is this. You see it and take the righteous action. Krishna Bhagwan says that dharma yug, kshatriya ka jo dharma hai, you are kshatriya, you have to protect the righteousness. You have to protect people who are on right side of the fence. So fight for them and take the right action. Here Krishna Bhagwan also says consciousness is undecaying. It's a realized undecaying consciousness by which everything pervades. So he's also clarifying it's everything. Just because he's saying you don't need to believe it. First thing remember, because it's said in Gita, I don't believe it. My meditation has to validate. Gita is giving the knowledge. This Sankhya Yoga is about knowledge. If knowledge can open the doors of experience of that oneness, then it has done the job. It will be harder. It will not be so easily possible that I heard it and I'll become instantly realizing that, feeling that oneness with this divine soul. So it will be difficult. Until you realize it, don't start preaching it to others. That soul is eternal. Until even if you've got one drop of experience, or remembrance, I would say, not even experience, remembrance. This connect to the source. And in fact, I tell you, every night when we go to sleep, we connect to that source. In every night when we go to sleep, we are connecting to deep sleep. Out of 8 hours, we sleep for 45 minutes to watch. Will tell you. If you have a digital watch or ring or something, they will tell you how much is your deep sleep. It's 45 minutes to 1 hour. 2 hours if you're lucky. And if you're a very peaceful person, very clear, certain, your clarity will give you that. Oh, in that deep sleep, you connect to the source every Sutra. When Parvati Mata asked Shivji, there is a technique, several techniques, 3 or 4 techniques out of 112 techniques of Shiva, where he mentions if you become aware, you are awakened and sleep is happening. Just between those 2 moments, you will be enlightened. There is a practical technique given by Shiva directly to Parvati. Just in the moment before going to become aware. One who sleeps is not you. And night. Saying it because I just like this is the fact of existence. They become aware. Before going to sleep, you start practicing that technique for a few days and you will see as soon as dream comes, you will be waking up. Dreams are just not real. Dreamer is separate and separate. You will become again aware and you will be enlightened. Like that. So we are not very far from realizing the real self of ours. You become aware, right now it can happen. While listening, right now, right here, in a second, and door opens. Oh, So it is not about believing. This book is not about belief. Because if it was about belief, Krishna would have said to Arjuna, believe me, I am saying you are Atma. Not once ever Krishna said, Arjun, you believe me. Hinduism, they want you to believe. I feel, what Hinduism are you teaching? Your best book of Hinduism says, don't believe, he's asking questions. Anyone who wants you to believe, wants you, he invested in from you. Because Krishna himself didn't want Arjuna to believe, otherwise he would have said in first chapter. What was stopping him from saying that believe me? People who are preaching the belief are the ones who don't know what they're talking about. I would like to use some profane words, but that's okay, I don't want to use it. Restrain from it. Because that's what it is. They're full of you themselves. That's the problem. Please, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Krishna says that you should not, nobody is getting killed, nobody is killing.
Yes.
You should not care. Then why is he saying that you should care what people?
The explanation. Expecting that Arjuna will realize. He is not realizing. Day you realize it. But Krishna saw, maybe, that Arjuna is not getting there yet. So he adds. So if you think from a little lower level also, look at it this way. If you don't do what is right, people will, what they will think. If you are worried about people thinking about you, which you will see further down, Arjuna will say, what will this people say, what will that people say? Krishna is trying to cut short. You from that level, if you're not realizing the Atma, even the middle stages, even in the world, people will think you did the wrong action, took the wrong action. Do you want people to remember you that way? As Arjuna is at that level, so Krishna is also coming to the, he starts at peak, realize you are the soul, but he's not realizing, he's not getting there. He says, okay, come down, even look around. What will these people think of you? You had the power to stop evil Duryodhana from ruling the Bharatvarsh or world for many, many years to come. So he is trying to come to his level again, further down. He starts there, again comes down. Again goes up, again comes. You will see Krishna doing that again and again, hoping that he will understand it right away. He does not understand. Again, he says, okay, let's come down to your level and talk. So that's the conversation. There is no contradiction here. Very good point. Please go ahead.
That was an excellent question. I have another question.
Yes.
If it is okay.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
So, in our entire life, we are playing role-based role, right? Role-based. Childhood, we are a child, then we are, son, daughter, whatever, then we are father, mother, grandparents, etc. A job, leader, and all that stuff. So, the whole society is teaching us to be role-based. And every part of our life is role-based, right? So we are come here for a duty, we impart that, we depart, etc. And then when we take rebirth, we may not be in human form, we are in some other form. And then there we may have a role and something to do, right? So when we talk about the continuity of life, of Atma, where, it's never you worried about killing someone, that they'll not be killed, they're forever. But since my whole mindset is role based, I see them as my relative or my guru, etc. in this birth, in that role. How do I get my mind away from that?
Yes, that will take us to the last verse of this we were talking about. Read that verse again, the wonder the last one that says wonder. There's one verse about wonder in between somewhere. One who realizes the soul as eternal wonders. आश्चर्य होता है उसे कि क्या है. Read that. The one that is one with the wonder in there somewhere. माँ आपको मिल रहा है आश्चर्य वाला वो जो है हिंदी में भी चलेगा.
That's the realization part you're talking.
So I'll tell you how it happens. That is important. That will relate and answer this question. So one who realizes such thing, he's filled with wonder. आश्चर्य होता है. जानने वाले को भी होता है. सुन के जो समझता नहीं है उसके बारे में कृष्ण भगवान ने कहा है. तो ये जो आश्चर्य होता है उसी में तुम देखोगे जैसे भी हम गायब हो जाते हैं. अभी हमें लगता है कि ये जानने के बाद एक चीज होगी जो आप सोचते हो कि दूसरा जन्म होता है वो गायब हो जाएगा. क्योंकि when you crack open the code with all memories, you go all the way deep and realize I am that one with that eternal self. That day onwards, you will never have any desire of this world anymore. You will not come back ever after that. That is not yet said in the Gita. Eventually, Krishna Bhagavan will say that also in Gita. But that question perhaps Arjuna didn't ask. But day you will realize it. Attachments of the world will disappear. You will not have to take one more body to come back again.
But then you will still be able to do your duties of this.
You are
janma.
free. Yeah, after realizing, it's a good question. It'll be a little difficult in the beginning, but you'll get used to it. You can. Even one glimpse of that divine experience will will have some withdrawal from the world. You'll have some withdrawal syndrome for a little bit. I was like, what the hell? Why am I supposed to do all these things? I'm not supposed to. What am I doing here? Am I wasting my time?
I just have
Four times. It's always लड़ता है. जो सही है उसके लिए खड़ा हो और लड़. ये तेरा कर्म है और ये तेरा धर्म. You should follow the right. That is what he is telling him. And then first he also right action for them. That's what they will.
One minute. से पहले अव्यक्त होते हैं, बीच में व्यक्त होते हैं और अंत में शोक कैसा। कोई आत्मा को आश्चर्य के समान देखता है, कोई आश्चर्य की तरह इसका वर्णन करता है, कोई आश्चर्य की तरह सुनता है और सुनकर भी कोई इसे नहीं समझ पाता। हे भारत, सभी प्राणियों के शरीर में रहने वाला है, इसलिए तुम किसी के लिए शोक मत करो। अपने स्वधर्म को देखकर तुम हे पार्थ,
धारण करने वाला द आत्मा, कोई उसे जानता है बिफोर द मैनिफेस्टेशन इन द बॉडी हैपन्स. इट इज अनमैनिफेस्ट मैनिफेस्टिंग, अनमैनिफेस्टिंग. अव्यक्त को अनमैनिफेस्टेड कहा जा सकता है. अव्यक्त इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग वर्ड. इट्स डिफिकल्ट, वी कैन कॉल इट अनमैनिफेस्टेड, but it still is unmanifested. It is. It is not manifested in the way we can perceive, but अव्यक्त है. और वो शरीर लेके he comes in different forms, human, animal, whatever. Even the inanimate objects has the invisible atoms in it. Atoms are unmanifested energy. What is unmanifested? Today science agrees to that. अव्यक्त है. Today when quantum physics is being evaluated, even our chemistry is being evaluated, one that does not exist or does not manifest in a form, it exists in every particle of our body and every particle of objects. Atoms are still there. Everything is made up of it. Everything is made up of that energy. And that energy is conscious at the level of Atma, when we call it the supreme Atma. And that is manifesting. One who knows, wonders, and tries to express it with wonder. Somebody who does not know, who listens, not understands, and still lives in ignorance. So he is telling Arjuna also, you are listening, are you understanding it? Again he is very subtly pointing, are you understanding what I am saying? That this is what he continues now. How it is that we will understand it, and through knowledge we understand. But if knowledge is not enough, some practice of meditation. Nothing, simplest method will be just sit and remember, who am I? That's the best method, simplest method. If you can just take one method of meditation, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That one question can penetrate through the deepest unconscious in our subconscious level, and you will realize I am that Atma. जो कृष्ण भगवान आत्मा कहते हैं वो मैं हूँ, वो हमें पता चल सकता है. एक ध्यान, एक रास्ता वो भी है. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Just go deeper, deeper. ऐसे हजारों विधियां हैं जिन रास्तों से जा सकते हैं, बट हमारा गोल हमें पता होना चाहिए शुरू होते ही कि उसको जाने बिना मैं रुकूंगा नहीं. I will not stop until I realize that I am that, or what is that. Then the journey from beginning is right journey. If you start the journey कि मैं ये आदत सुधार लेता हूँ, वो आदत सुधार लेता हूँ, इतना अच्छा हो लेता हूँ, इतना अच्छा बोल लेता हूँ, भगवत गीता destination. You bought a ticket to Fort Worth and trying to go to New York. You not reach New York. अब फोर्ट वर्थ में उतर जाओगे क्योंकि टिकट ही नहीं है तुम्हारे पास. कि मन का प्रोग्राम ही नहीं है कि वहां तक जाया जा सकता है. एंड आई टेल यू जाया जा सकता है क्योंकि हम रोज जाते ही है, नींद में जाते हैं, अनकॉन्शियसली हम वहां पहुंच जाते हैं, कॉन्शियसली नहीं पहुंचते. इसे याद रखना जरूरी है कि वहां तक की यात्रा हो सकती है. उसके लिए कोई 10 जन्म की जरूरत नहीं है. थोड़ी साधना की जरूरत है, मेरा तो अनुभव है कि दिन में 1 घंटा ध्यान कर सको तो बेस्ट है, वरना हफ्ते में 1 घंटे से शुरू तो कर ही सकते ध्यान से। इसलिए मैं कहता हूं आपको भी हो सकता है। I have realized few experiences of meditation that have given me certain glimpses of a divine presence which is functioning all the time. Sometimes I forget, so I have to meditate more. But remembrance is there. Whenever I become little aware, little conscious, it's flowing through us. Feel that it's flowing through you too. You are just not very conscious about it. You just become little conscious, you will realize, oh, it is there. Yeah, it is there. So you have to build that awareness within you. Then first you cannot balance it. Slowly you can continue doing the work like you are asking. You can keep playing the role and balance that connection constantly. Small acts. First start sitting down and meditating. No work. निवृत्त कर लो 1 घंटे के लिए अपने आप को, एटलीस्ट दिन में हो सके तो, नहीं तो 15 मिनट के लिए कर लो, नहीं Sunday it will happen. And in that meditation we have different techniques we use that will give you some glimpse in first or second meditation itself. 1 hour you'll get glimpse. And then start balancing it. अब बैठे बिना छोटा छोटा काम कर रहे, उसके साथ connection जोड़ के you try it. Try to bring that awareness, that divine energy is constantly connected and functioning. Slowly you can do complex tasks also. Maintaining the awareness to it. So that's also one method, another method to realize it. So now, what's the time? 12:12. We'll, 8 more minutes we have. Maybe 3 or 4 slokas we can talk about, not more than that. I couldn't finish the second chapter. We'll have to continue second chapter further next. So we have more sessions than 18 sessions. I was thinking I can finish and squeeze in, but it was so interesting. I just couldn't resist to stop it right there. So why don't we start English now? Then we'll hear sense, and then we'll go into Hindi a little bit. Please.
The whole thing or
The next, you start.
If you call protects there's no loss of effort, nor is there any adverse effect. Even a little practice of this dharma protects one from great fear. Here the intellect is resolute and one-pointed. O joy of the Kurus! The intellect of the is many-branched and endless. Those unwise people who delight in the flowery words of the Vedas, the Opartha, declaring that there is nothing beyond them, full of desires, aiming at heaven,
That's it. Yeah. We'll finish this line and then we'll finish it.
proclaiming rebirth at the fruit of actions, and prescribing many rituals for pleasure and power.
That's good. Thank you. You can say in Hindi now.
धर्म का नाश होता है और न ही विपरीत फल का भय है। इस धर्म का थोड़ा सा आचरण भी महान भय से रक्षा करता है। हे कुरुनंदन, इस मार्ग में बुद्धि एकनिष्ठ होती है, जबकि अव्यवसायियों की बुद्धि अनेक शाखाओं में बटी हुई और अनंत होती है। हे पार्थ, जो अविवेकी लोग
वो फिर से ऊपर जाओ 2 लाइन और वो देखो वेद के बारे में कृष्ण भी क्या कह रहे हैं। जो उन्होंने कहा हिंदी में कहा, आप फिर से पढ़िए हिंदी में। देखिए वेद आप यज्ञ बताते हैं और वो आदमी करता है कामनाओं की पुष्टि की कोशिश। And this debunks the tradition of people who have been constantly praying. जो बोल रहे हैं उन्होंने भगवत गीता को पढ़ा भी नहीं है ध्यान से। भगवत गीता को महान कहते हैं और वेदों को भी धर्मशास्त्र कहते हैं। तो देखो, यू हैव टू बिकम अवेयर एंड कॉन्शियस। पीपल आर फीडिंग ओपियम इन नेम ऑफ रिलीजन टू पीपल। ये you have to become conscious to cut the crap out and you will have to use your intellect. And then he says सांख्य की ऐसी बुद्धि को लेके resolute when योग बात इसके बाद अभी तक सांख्य का नॉलेज दिया। He talks about knowledge in Sankhya. What is worth knowing? This is only worth knowing that you are supreme being and all these are different qualities of supreme being. This is how it works, all the manifestations and all that he explained. Then he said that I will talk about योग. People who are बहुत शाखाओं में जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो चुके हैं उनकी दृष्टि उसको समन्वय योग यानी यूनियन, बिकॉज वन इन ऑफ सांख्य. Now use that intelligence one pointedly. Don't let it go left, right, up, down in 1,000 desires. Every desire takes our intelligence, intellect in 1,000 different directions. And people who have been talking about Vedas and using Vedas to fulfill your desires up to the heaven, तक जो स्वर्ग है, that only about heaven, Krishna is all that they are more than they. वो समझदार लोग नहीं है की पूर्ति Become one resolute and take your intellect deep and know the real self. Be free from all desires, even the desire of heaven. हमें स्वर्गवास नहीं चाहिए. स्वर्गवास का बहुत रिस्पेक्ट नहीं है भगवत गीता में. आज आपने वो सुना. अगर कोई तुम्हें कहता है कि स्वर्ग के लिए करो तो बोले तेल लेने जाए तुम्हारा स्वर्ग. हमें नहीं चाहिए. हमें कामनाओं से मुक्ति चाहिए. हमें आत्मा का ज्ञान चाहिए. और जिन वेदों के शास्त्रों में तुम्हें कामना पूर्ति के लिए चीजें सिखाई जा रही है, उनका बड़ा सम्मान नहीं है. उनसे तुम मत जुड़ो वरना तुम भटक जाओगे. You will be lost into endless world of desires if you start following those things in Vedas. So become aware, become conscious, meditate, free yourself from this unconsciousness. And further down now Krishna will talk about how to unite that energy out, but that we'll talk next time. We cannot talk about it today. I think I still feel I couldn't do justice to whatever what Krishna Bhagwan said. Details you can read again. He is saying that nature of that divine eternal self, and knowing that self, you should liberate yourself. We'll play a small kirtan if you little bit, and then we'll finish the session. Give me 1 second. I'll look up Krishna, and then we'll finish the session after that. We'll continue recording.
Shri Gopala संयुक्त
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो माधवा मुरारी राधेश्याम बोलो. A river flows so calm, so wide. Your name is the boat, the stars are guide. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Let the heart dance, let the soul follow. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. In your light, shadows swallow. The flute calls out in the still of night. A melody blooms in the Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Let the heart dance, let the soul follow. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. In your light, shadow swallow. Radha's love, the moon's gentle glow. In the rhythm of life, your blessings flow. Om Namo Bhagavate, I am so low. Every breath, your name I soul. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Let the heart dance, let the soul follow. Govind bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. In your light, shadow swallow.
Now we can stand up and dance with the music a little bit.
शंखनाद गूंजे चारों ओर, गीता का संदेश हो हर छोर। धर्म की विजय, सत्य का द्वार। जय जय कृष्णा, मुरली के सुर। जय जय कृष्णा, गोविंद जय। तेरी लीला सबका सहारा है। जय जय कृष्णा, मधुसूदन जय। हर दिल में तेरा बसे वासना है। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य गूंज उठे, जब जब अधर्म ने पथ छोड़े। महाभारत के रण का स्वर, कृष्णा ने सिखाया जीवन का महत्व।